Banaras, the city of the Ganga and its ancient ghats. But beneath its holy chants and temple bells, something dark still breathes. This is where Anjali lived, a simple, innocent girl born and raised in the narrow lanes of Banaras. Her father was a priest, her mother a homemaker. A modest family, but a happy one. Until one day, someone's evil eye fell on them, and everything began to fall apart.
Anjali had just started working as a cashier at a local bank. Her parents were now after her to get married. But she wasn't ready. She wanted to work for a few years, make her own money, build her own life. Her parents disagreed. They said, "It takes years to find a good match," they said. "If we start now, maybe you'll be married in 3 or 4 years." Then one day, a marriage proposal arrived from a rich family in Lucknow. After much convincing, Anjali finally agreed to meet the guy. 2 days later, a long black car stopped in front of a narrow Banaras lane. Out stepped Aditya. Young, tall, incredibly handsome. His mother was with him. Aditya wasn't just good looking. He was charming, confident and successful. In just a few years, his startup had become a hit. The family talked for a while and then Aditya and Anjali were asked to speak alone. Within minutes, he had impressed her. They exchanged numbers. As his car disappeared into the distance, Anjali blushed. She told her parents she liked him, but she wanted to talk to him a little more before saying yes. But what Anjali didn't know was that this yes could destroy her life. Over the next few weeks, Aditya and Anjali spoke for hours every night. Anjali was falling deeper in love. But that's when strange things started happening. She'd get hurt, for no reason. One evening while cutting vegetables and talking to Aditya on the phone, the knife slipped, slicing her thumb deeply. The next day, she twisted her ankle while just sitting at her desk. And then, the unthinkable. While working one afternoon, she stood up from her desk to grab some water, and the ceiling fan above her head crashed down exactly where her head had been. If she'd moved 2 seconds later, she'd be dead. Shaken, her manager sent her home early. That evening, as she entered her house, everything was dark. Power cuts were normal here, so she turned on her phone's flashlight and went to her room to change. When she came out, silence. "Mom? Dad?" she called. No answer. She walked into the kitchen and froze. Her mother was standing in a corner staring blankly into the blue flame of the gas stove. "Mom?" she whispered. No reaction. When she called again, her voice came low and trembling. "Stay away from me." Anjali didn't understand. "From whom, Mom?" She turned her phone's light towards her mother, and as the beam hit her face, her mother screamed and collapsed. Panicking, she ran to the prayer room. Her father was sitting there chanting. But the words, they weren't right. He was reciting the sacred mantras backwards. Her heart raced. Suddenly something struck her head hard. She blacked out. When she woke up, her parents were beside her, worried. She asked, "What happened to you? You were both acting so strange." They looked at each other. "Nothing happened to us, beta. We found you unconscious." Had she dreamt it all? But how could she dream something that had left her with a bump on her head? That night, she told Aditya everything. He went quiet, completely still, and then in a low voice he said, "I know what's happening. Don't panic. I'll tell you everything when we meet." He asked her to meet him at midnight in an old temple outside the city. The next night, Anjali lay down early, her head throbbing. She fell asleep and slipped into a nightmare. She saw Aditya, deep in the middle of the forest, sitting cross-legged, eyes closed, chanting something. Then a woman appeared. Beautiful, almost unreal. She leaned close and whispered something in Aditya's ear. Aditya's eyes opened instantly. He stood up and followed her silently into the darkness. And then her face began to change. Her skin turned crimson red, her eyes yellow and burning, her teeth sharp as knives. Her hair floated in the air. She wasn't human anymore. Anjali gasped. Somehow she women sensed that she was being watched. Her head twisted around, directly towards Anjali. And then, with an ear-splitting shriek, she screamed into Anjali's face. Anjali woke up screaming. Her heart pounded. She glanced at the clock. It was time to meet Aditya. But before she could think, a blood-curdling scream echoed through the house. Her mother's voice from the living room. Anjali froze. What happened next? Changed everything. Who was Aditya? What was that thing in her dream? And why did it call itself Karna Pishachini, the demon who whispers death into your ears?